Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball game preview. We went 2-0 on Tuesday, hitting on both Kansas spread as well as Duke money line. I hope you guys tailed. I know looking at the comments, it seems like not a lot of you guys did, but the season's still early, plenty of time to turn it around. We have Villanova at UCLA for today's video. This game is going to be tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Central on November 12th. It's going to be number 2 versus number 4, so it's going to be a great game. You guys should definitely give it a watch. But with that, we'll just jump right into the content. We have our partnership with Prize Picks, a great app if you like to bet on college sports because they have a bunch of college players props that you can't really find on DraftKings and FanDuel. You can see there on the left, they'll match your first deposit of up to $100 using our promo code PROPICS. That's all caps, PROPICS. Just a little bit how it works. You have a flex play. So you're doing multiple leg entries. The flex play is a built-in promo. You get one leg wrong and you can still make a little bit of your money back. But 3 legs plus entries, you'll actually still make a profit even if one of your legs misses. As for the power play, that's just your traditional parlay. And once again, the promo code is PROPICS there on the left. This app is also usable in betting illegal states such as Texas, Florida, California, Carolina. So should definitely go give it a look if you're looking to make some bets on college basketball this year and you haven't been able to find any way to do so. But with that, I'm going to look a little bit at these two teams, Villanova and UCLA, in their first games. They both played some really weak opponents, so I'm not going to put too much emphasis on what happened, but I'm just going to note a couple of my key takeaways from those games. So first, we have UCLA there, and the big storyline or whatever he's talking about for these two teams is Cody Riley's injury. He's going to turn 24 in December, so he's just a very old, very experienced player for UCLA. One of their glue guys, kind of does everything for them, rebound, scores, and he's more perimeter centric than your average center. He's athletic, guard the perimeter, shoot the ball a little bit. But I just think he's a really big loss for UCLA, and he's kind of the guy that nobody really talked about enough. But he's the guy, the glue guy, like I mentioned, that does everything for them. One of their tougher players, and he'll definitely be missed against Villanova with so many perimeter shooting forwards. I don't know how well Miles Johnson's going to match up with them. He's your more traditional rim protector. And I know UCLA is going to dominate the paint this game, though. But Villanova doesn't really care about that. They're going to want to shoot their threes at a high clip, play great defense, and try to win the ball game that way. And without Cody Riley, I think UCLA is going to have a tougher time dominating the paint, although I think they still will win the paint battle. I just think it's obviously going to be a blow, all that experience and talent at the center position. But the other player we're going to be looking at or just taking note of is Peyton Watson. He's the 10th overall ranked freshman. A lot of people expected him to start for UCLA and for him to go 2 for 11 and 0 for 5 on 3-pointers the opening night. Wasn't very impressed, and maybe just kind of that gave me a glimpse as to why he's not starting. He has tons of potential, still lots, couple of shots, grab some boards, got a steal. He's going to be fine. He's the 10th overall ranked freshman. He's got plenty of time to figure it out. His first college game. Still big learning curve to go, but if there's a time to bet against UCLA, I would say it's right now and it's early because Peyton Watson is going to be a much better basketball player in March than he is right now. And Cody Riley is just newly out. They weren't planning for that. That's going to change up all their rotations. It's going to make them go another guy deeper into the bench or make guys play more minutes. So either way, there's a lot going on with UCLA and just a couple more questions than you might have had at the start of the season. Villanova, on the other end, didn't necessarily love their roster as the 4th overall ranked team in the country. You got Gillespie coming off his injury. Still a very solid player. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Their whole team doesn't make mistakes. That's that's the beauty about Villanova basketball is it's not a ton of skill. It's not I'm gonna beat you one on one. But if you look there, they had 6 turnovers in their opener. That's an extremely low number. Both of their starting guards played over 60 minutes and neither of them turned the ball over. I know it was against Mount St. Mary's again, so you don't want to put too much interest in these games, but there's definitely some emphasis on holding on to the basketball. They shot the 3-pointer extremely well. Also, hit a high percent from the free throw line, but so did UCLA. I would just say my bigger interest here is that these posts or their forwards. Villanova doesn't have a traditional post. They start 3 forwards, and they could all hit the three. They all attempted threes and they all made threes in their opening game. They played a little bit lower minutes, maybe since it was just they're just playing Mount St. Mary's. But I'm curious to see who Miles Johnson guards, and if he does, they could probably just spread the court, make him get outside on the 3-point line and guard, and then they don't have any rim protector. Or I just don't think Miles Johnson will be as effective on the defensive end because, like you see there, Slater, one of their forwards, didn't even attempt a 2-point shot in the game. So while that benefits Villanova definitely on the offensive end, Miles Johnson will still be grabbing a lot of boards, and they got to get it down to him in the paint. We'll just see how effective he is in scoring. He started for Rutgers last year, and I don't think he eclipsed the 10-point per game mark. So I know people are saying this is a huge pickup, great move for UCLA, and it really was. I loved it, but we'll see how effective he is now starting. No Cody Riley, just a little bit more pressure on him. And I don't mean to just totally bash UCLA's team here. Obviously, Villanova is a smaller roster. They're probably going to lose the rebounding matchup. Like 27 boards in the first game is pretty bad, but at the same time, they made a ton of shots. Didn't have a lot of opportunities to grab rebounds, but I just think Villanova is a very solid team who's not going to hurt themselves. I still, even with the Cody Riley injury, would probably still give the upper hand on the bench to UCLA, but Villanova's got some potential here on their depth grow or throughout the season. You have two freshmen in the top 100, and then you also have Caleb Daniels, who averaged almost 17 points per game his sophomore year, and that number was down to about 10 last year. But you see him here on the bottom, playing 20 minutes off the bench. He's definitely your 6 man, kind of like another starter. But having somebody else who can handle the ball, shoot threes, just not turn it over and be really solid is huge off the bench. And if you're putting, say, Daniels against Peyton Watson, I would probably take Daniels in this first week of the season, but maybe in a month from now, I would already switch to Watson as to who I would prefer having on the floor for my team. I just think there's a lot leaning Villanova's way in this game. And they're still plus 4.5 because they're at UCLA. Johnny Juzang supposed to be conference player of the year. They have all this hype, but I'm just can't fully buy into it yet. Villanova finished last year 18-7 in the regular season, and UCLA was 17-8. They just got so hot at the right time. They were in the first 4 game. They weren't even supposed to be in the tournament, potentially. I think there's a lot of hype around UCLA, and that's why this line continues to make no sense to me. When Cody Riley got injured, I immediately took Villanova plus 122. And as the days have passed, this line was taken off. And then now somehow UCLA is an even bigger favorite by 2 points. I think the public and pretty much everybody is hammering UCLA this game. And when you look at it on paper, UCLA has the bigger name guys, but Villanova is going to play extremely sound basketball. They're going to hit a lot of threes, play great defense, and not turn it over. That's a recipe to keep yourself in any game. Honestly, now I might double dip at the plus 4.5, but I made my pick a couple days ago. And the pick for this game is Villanova, and I'm taking the money line. I think this is the perfect game for Villanova to steal early in the year. UCLA has all this hype. They got to figure out how to replace Cody Riley in the rotation. You got Peyton Watson needs to figure out how to play at the Division I level. You got a lot of questions. And I think Miles Johnson is the wild card here. I don't necessarily like Villanova's front court, but they could shoot threes, and UCLA is down a guy. I would have preferred UCLA's front court, but at this point, I would say it would almost even out for me. Jermaine Samuels is a very good player, and I think I'm more just relying on Villanova to be able to stop UCLA on their defensive end. Villanova is never going to be a very extremely high scoring, insane like outscore you team. They play great defense and they don't turn the ball over, and those are two things I think they could get the advantage early on UCLA. I viewed UCLA as more of a finesse team. Obviously, they're very good. They hit their shots, but they rely heavily on mid-range three-pointers. And now you're down one more guy who can get those easy baskets inside. I just have a lot of indications leaning towards Villanova for me. I could still obviously see UCLA winning. They're at home. They're the favorites. But there's just a lot of value on Villanova money line. And I'm already took Villanova money line. Now that they're off to plus 4.5, which makes with the line going even better in their favor after the Cody Riley injury, makes no sense at all. I believe the public's hammering UCLA, and that just gives me even more reason to take Villanova money line here. And they're very slept on, just well-disciplined team, like I've been talking about this whole video. If you guys agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be putting out another video probably tomorrow. I'm just waiting on this Texas Gonzaga line. And then I'll probably also be looking at Florida versus Florida State, because that'll be another really good underrated matchup in this first week. But I'll be tweeting out some of my just regular plays, or just not as highly sought after games on our Twitter at Profit of Picks. So if you guys are looking for some more picks and bets that you're interested in, you should definitely go give us a follow there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think in the comments, and let's make some money tomorrow night.